Well, got me interested is like I just want to get better for a long time. I used to back in the good old console days, I played in a league a little bit, and now I'm on PC. Same console friends recently messaged me like, "Yo, we want you back for a
Hmm.
mixed league." So I was like, "Okay, sure, why not?" And because of that, I kind of really felt like, okay, if I were to get coaching at any point, now is probably the time, so I can
Sure.
actually like be really good.
Sure.
Then I specifically sought you out because I think I mentioned in the forum I am a bit of an Overwatch League nerd, so I was
Uh-huh.
familiar
Nice.
with your work with London. So I
Nice.
was like,
Nice.
okay, okay, there's this person. I've watched some of his videos. I think his content's good. Why not
Appreciate it.
just try it out?
Appreciate it.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Sounds good. So you're kind of getting back in the swing of things. You've been playing for a little
yeah,
while. And main support, yeah?
main support, yeah,
Okay. Sounds good. So you said you're also going to be a little bit extra watch because you've been out of a little bit of practice. You've been
yeah.
traveling.
I at least in the BAP VOD is before I went away, but the Brig Lucio one that I sent that is like literally yesterday, very washed up.
Okay.
But
No problem.
yeah,
No problem. So I want to improve mainly when it comes to positioning and CD management, as well as gain an overall better understanding of the game.
yeah.
Okay. Now, why particularly? Why do you feel like positioning in particular? You feel like you're missing. What do you feel like you're missing with the
Uh,
positioning?
because like sometimes I feel like my positioning is like fairly good, but other times I just feel like I get caught out randomly. And sure, sometimes it might just be like Overwatch BS, but other times I feel like, okay, what could I have done to not die here randomly?
Right. So
So
it's like
like,
almost the deaths themselves are catching you with
yeah,
your pants down, kind of a thing.
yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And then CD management. Talk me through that.
Well, it's mainly a thing for I guess like it mainly is weirdly enough, Lucio, I feel like my amp timings, I feel like are a little suspect sometimes. And
Okay.
then like occasionally when I do play the BAP, I just like don't know when I should lamp or shift because I feel like sometimes I do them too early, sometimes I save them too much, and it's just like I don't know. I just don't know when to use those.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Sounds good. Now your hero pool is mainly Lucio because main support, right?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
sounds like you have a pretty expensive hero pool, depending, I assume, on what's needed in ranked. And then also,
Yeah.
is it something that's influenced by like your team stuff as well? Now that you're getting back into it.
No. I actually started out as like a Lucio player that also had a pretty good BAP and a pretty good Zen.
Ah.
So like main support that could flex the flex support, but
Mm-hmm.
like as I just kept playing, I still kind of stayed in that lane. Like I've definitely played more Brig and Lucio, but like I am able to like flex onto a flex support like a BAP or an Ana if needed. But like mainly it's not even because the team because like we have two other flex supports and I'm like okay I don't need to play flex.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. So you're primarily just whatever's needed, depending, but
Yeah,
usually Brig Lucio. Okay. Sounds good. Playtime here depends on the day, but during summer hours, maybe 2 hours a day. Now that might not last for much longer. So like, what's it going to
yeah.
be like moving forward?
Moving forward, I honestly have no clue. Maybe like an hour or so, because I'm a very busy person during like
Okay.
school time. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Sounds good. So what's your plan to like, I guess, min max practice value out of the limited time that you have,
min
if you have a
max. I
plan?
mean, I don't know, just like get home, get my work done, and then just like probably hop on and then
Okay.
play until I fall asleep.
So okay, so that's maximizing your time, but when I mean min max, I mean making the quality of what you have as high as you
Yeah,
possibly can. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, no,
How?
I get
What's your plan
exactly
for
what you're saying.
that?
I'm not gonna min max it. Well, I don't know. Get on, warm up for a little bit, play maybe a few ranked games. If I start feeling tired, just like calling it, nah, this isn't good practice because like I'm just tired.
Sure.
And like if I get home and I'm just like completely wiped out, I'm like I don't want to do this. Just no point playing, no point. Like sure, practice would be nice, but like it won't be good practice if I'm just freaking exhausted.
Right.
I'm just like
Right.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. And then what about like what's your training plan with your team coming up here?
Well, I have no clue what the actual schedule is, but I'm pretty sure at some point we're heading into playoffs. We're guaranteed playoffs already. I'm pretty sure number two. So yeah. This week we're gonna try to be scrimming a bunch because a lot of us have just been away and we're all just kind of coming back. So we also played the best team and we kind of got our shit stomped. It was
Yeah.
not close.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna probably be on the grind a lot, like these next few weeks with scrims, just trying to make them possible.
Okay.
But yeah,
I would encourage you, especially now that you're back with the team again, like sorting things out, like challenge them to put just as much effort to like sorting out your practice schedule and like what you want to be doing for like how often you guys want to be scrimmaging and so on. Like, again, like the min-maxing for you also is part of that, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to sort that out too, because I think that's like, especially a large portion of like why you're taking things so seriously. So like it needs to be sorted, right?
Yeah.
It needs to be sorted. So I would encourage like you to talk with your team about it and just try to sort it out, because I think like that's obviously going to have a lot of impact on your quality of time. But yeah. Okay. Now for warm up, what do you do for warm up?
Warm up, I usually go into Vaxta for a little bit, queue one, maybe two quick play games, then queue ranked, and while in queue for ranked, either if I'm doing with someone, freaking Lijiang 1v1, and if not, just Vaxta.
Okay, sounds good. And then in terms of the ranked games, do you just generally play what you're playing in scrims? Like just do the same thing?
Yeah, usually. Like, if someone like insta-locks like Mercy or something, I'll go like Ana or Kiri, but usually I try to stick to the Lucio or the Brig.
Okay, sounds good. And then in terms of your goals, do you have, I assume it's about basically doing as good as you possibly can, with this tournament coming up or these games coming up, but like what's the plan for you rank wise? I know your format and answer, but I want to hear what you have to say here.
I don't know. I really at least want to hit Masters at some point in the near future. I feel like I definitely can. I feel like, despite me saying sometimes my positioning shit, I feel like I am smart enough as a player to do it. Like, something that occasionally holds me back sometimes is my mechanics, but I feel like I'm definitely like smart enough. I have the game sense to be able to like climb. But so I want to like actually really iron out all the kinks. Be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Let's just climb, hit Masters, be happy with my life.
Okay. Have you ever seen me play Overwatch before?
Yes.
When's the last time you seen me play Overwatch? Do you remember?
No, I'm trying to think. I don't know. It's been a minute, but
All right. What is one? Okay, what is one that was? Do you remember any time that you see me play Overwatch? Like a specific situation, maybe I was feeding or playing a certain character or whatever. Do you remember?
I distinctly remember Torbjorn, but that's about it.
Okay, how good was the Torbjorn?
It was fine, I think.
Okay. Was it Grandmaster?
I don't think so.
Okay. I've coached top 500 Torbjorn before.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay. Was it Masters level? I don't think so either. It was probably like around a mid diamond, something like that. Really just sheer off of how I was using my ultimate and probably how I was positioning. So what's the problem? Do I have the potential? Why am I not Grandmaster with Torbjorn? I have the game sense. I have the knowledge. I'm just like you. What's the problem?
Is it the mechanics?
Partly.
Yeah.
Partly. But do you also think if I went back and VOD reviewed my positioning, that'd probably point out a lot of errors in terms of how I was holding corners and so on, right? So here's the TLDR for you. We'll make it short for you. Okay. Just because you think that you're a smart enough player, it really means very little, frankly.
Yeah.
It means very, very little. Your ability to actually take what you know and apply it in game is the skill, and the only way to get there is quality time. Right now, you're definitely putting priority in getting that quantity and getting that quality up. But I do not want any expectations of, I'm smart enough, I know the problem, so therefore I should, because that's not good enough.
Yeah.
The only time when I would consider myself to have like improved rapidly at the game is whenever a new character comes out and I grind the character, like rework Sombra, or rework Pharah, or Venture, or something like that. And what's actually funny is I get better at those characters than the characters that I know, even though I don't know what I'm doing playing those characters fully.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like I actually go into Venture, and I know experience playing Venture at all, and yet I got Venture to Masters 4 in like less than a week, right? And I was playing well mechanically, and the same thing goes with the rework. But the difference is that I'm going in with intention, and I'm training consistently, basically almost every day for an hour or two, and that I don't do that. And that's where your limitation is too. You might have the knowledge, but you don't have the practice to be able to put that knowledge into a skill. And so what I would say is like, do you have potential for Masters? I mean, being smart is helpful because it does help you to know what I need to be practicing, right? But I would say that like Masters is possible, definitely. I think especially with what's about to happen tomorrow with the rank reset, I think things are going to be a little bit easier to access. But I would not necessarily put any crazy expectations of like, oh, I know, therefore I should be able to. No, it's not how it works. Yeah. Just keep that in mind. I don't want you to be disappointed if that is a difficulty.
I don't think I will.
Okay. But yeah. Okay. Usually feel like your aim is holding you back. Is that also the case in main support too?
Main support, not really. It's mainly when I just like flex specifically over onto like the Baptiste or the Curie. My Ana aim is like pretty good, but like it's really just Bap aim that is a thing. And weirdly enough, sometimes Lucio as well. Like normally my weapon accuracy is like fairly good on Lucio, but sometimes I just like randomly choke 1v1s because I'm just not hitting shots.
Sure. Okay. It happens. All right. Yeah. Best way to play mechanics is just to play mechanics, and that's pretty much all there is to it. The only other thing I'd say for you is if you really wanted to accelerate your mechanics at any one character, you would just need to narrow your hero pool for any whatever period of time.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really have any other questions from your forum. Do you have any other questions from me?
No, not really.
All right, gameplay time. What do you want to start with here?
I don't care. Both VODs are pretty good. The BAP VOD was a loss. I feel like that game was not my fault. I remember this game very vividly because I was queuing with some friends, and I was a little bit tilted afterwards because I was top fragging. I'm pretty sure I had over 22k kills, and I don't know. I feel like I did make some mistakes, but I don't know. Of course. But the Lucio and Brig VOD was definitely, we won, but I don't think I was playing very well.
Would you like to do both?
I'd love to do both.
Okay, let's try to do both. Which one do we want to start with then?
Brig VOD.
Brig VOD. Okay. We should have time to at least go somewhat thoroughly. We have 45 minutes, so we should be all right. Now, is this the only Brig VOD that you had? And if not, then why did you choose this one?
This really was the only one that I had, but
no problem.
I also feel like even if I could have chose other ones, I might have chose this one. Not really for the Brig, mainly for the Lucio. I feel like I honestly should have swapped off Brig because I didn't feel like I was doing all that much.
Okay.
But as soon as I swapped Lucio, it like felt a lot better, but it ended up working. But,
all right, sounds good. How much Brigitte do we have here? Do you remember?
All of the first round, and then after all of first round, then second round, a little bit into second is when I started.
Okay, so we'll have a decent amount of Brig and a little bit of Lucio. We'll take a look then. Okay, so what is Brig good at? Well, how do you provide value here? Okay, you're
just gonna sit on my own.
Protecting your backline. Okay, so does your backline need protecting versus a composition like this?
Potentially on an Echo Dive, but not really.
So you need to evaluate whether you need to be with your support on whether she's being pressured by Echo. And actually, there's an additional character you need to worry about as well, and that's Reinhardt. Yeah. Basically, Brig does two things, okay? Brig either closes the distance to get value by getting close to you, right? Because she's a close-range character. Shocker.
Yeah.
Or she lets you close the distance on her or think that you're going to get value and then deny that value. In other words, if Orion pins your Ana, Brig's pretty good at helping versus that.
Yeah.
You can proc your Inspire, you can pack, and more importantly, you can whip him away, right? And the same thing goes for Echo and any other dive. That's why Brig is so amazing at dive. The problem is if you look at this and like, let's say that Echo doesn't dive or isn't in a position to dive, let's say the Reinhardt doesn't pin, where do you get value? And if you're sitting on your Ana 24/7, you're terrible. Like you're terrible.
You do nothing.
Have you ever seen Mace of the Face play Brigitte? Yeah. Right? Yeah. There's a reason why that works. It's the appropriate response when you're not being dove. And so we'll talk about how you can basically dial in between those play styles depending on the situation. Okay. So I'm already wanting you to close the distance here.
Yeah.
Already. Very important.
Yeah.
And not just, running it down mid. You're going to have to be devious. You're going to have to get to here, proc or inspire, see who pushes me. Oh, they push me. Bash out, right? Okay, I'm going to help my tank. All right, maybe if I could see you obviously can't see it far, but if you can clear out this Cassidy. You're scary up close to squishies.
Yeah.
So here, really, where should your angle be given the information that you have here?
I should be on the other corner.
You should be on the other corner, right? You should be contesting this off angle here. You can't push this guy, but you can clear him out and make sure he doesn't get value out of it. There's not really any support that can hold a short angle as well as Brigitte can. Not Moira, not Lucio, not nobody. Nobody can. So you need to be there. And then also, you can also pack people that are split from you as well, obviously, which is really important. This is okay-ish because you are closing the distance, but generally... The tank is the one guy that you don't want to close distance on.
Yeah.
Right? So this is how things get really, really messy-ish. You're basically the tank on the flank. That's the way to look at it.
Okay.
Baiting attention, holding space, supporting other people, but almost never doing so directly. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's keep going here. All right. Tank on the flank. So... with the information that you have, how can you create hold space / pocket people and so on from what information that you have right now? So we know where everybody is. We know where our team is. Where should you go?
Should I push upstairs here?
You should. You should. You should. Now again, the question is how far do I go? Well, I don't know. But you should at least be thinking, is there an opportunity for me to push here? Can I pack my team here? Is anybody going to try to flank us through here? You need to make sure that the answer to that question is no. Mm-hmm. That's your job. Right? Okay. And then once you're here, if you find no responsibility, you go back and evaluate, make sure we're all good, and then maybe even consider making a play or clearing space here. I'm not saying hard flank all the time, right? There's obviously risk about that. You're kind of on a leash because shield bash only goes so far, but you do need to be taking space, and preferably space that is tight, not open, tight. Remember the tank on the flank. Yeah. Because this is what we call E-simulator, right? Yeah. Where you just armor pack and you armor pack and you armor pack. And it's fine. There are worse things for you to be doing. You are providing value, but the other support is doing more than you. And that's what we don't want to see. Because then it is exactly why are you playing Brig if all you're doing is pressing E? Yeah. Same thing here. Where should you be?
I should be right side.
Right side. Left is a little bit too... you could play left if you're really cautious and bash out. You don't really know what door Arisa is going to walk out of, but you could at least start here. Can you make this bash? I think it can, right? So, you hold the angle here, and you see if you can contest, dip out, right? There's value here. Yeah. Now, the good news is that they're likely to walk to you here because of where the card is. Yeah. But you still feel so uncomfortable. You're still so very open, right? And really, you're just basically spectating this fight here. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what you're supposed to do there a little bit, right? Or at least threaten that, right? So that's good. Not a whole lot to say here, so we'll keep rolling. And this is where... Yeah, go ahead.
Another thing that I remember specifically about this game is, I don't really know what I rally here. I ended up rallying last fight to just cap, but I don't know what I'm supposed to use rally for.
Well, that's because you're positioning in a way that the only thing that you can use rally for is if they, for some reason, decide to dive your on a million miles away. But if you look at their comp, they're never going to do that, right? So, you tell me, what do you use to rally? So let's start with tank on the flank. So where should you be right now?
Right side again?
Right side again. You could be here. Yeah. You could even set up a deeper angle here. Okay, so then now let's ask the question. How do you use rally?
If they walk on me, I could pop it. Or we could, alternatively, if I want to play more with team, we could rally engage.
You could. I like the angle better, though, because let's say that they push you here and you rally, you get value out of just living. Yeah. Because what have you opened up? Wide open.
I've opened up main because
the main. There's no pressure on main whatsoever. So your team can walk forward and they will die, or they will lose CDs, or they'll be forced to use an ultimate, and so on and so on and so on. Right. So you actually demand a response just by holding a position.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also, if you were to push here, do you see how much easier it is to push from an angle like this? Then this is way more painful. Got to walk right through that Orisa. It doesn't feel very good. Now, I also want to point out as well, the value of tank. What does a tank do? What are the two things that a tank does? Think carefully. Hold space.
Aggro.
Well, think of a different. You're correct, but that's basically what aggro is space, right? It's holding. Space. That's what holding space is, right? So hold space or create space.
Okay. Yeah.
So I already have the space, I'm going to hold it, or I'm going to create it. So when you go here, are you creating space or holding space?
Creating.
That's a trick. That's a trick question. Yes, both, really. Because creating space was like, oh, they're going to look to push me. I'll punish them. But you're also holding space because, let me ask you a question. Is this doorway scary for your team? Is this flank scary for your team?
Not really, unless they just like hard swing it. Yeah, a little.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That dramatic moment there, right? It's cinema. Yeah. But the thing is that this is exactly what tanking is it's defending your team by being a threat yourself so that people are forced to contest or deal with you. See, the thing is if you're here, let's say you didn't even have rally. Mm-hmm. If the Iliari pockets the Cassidy, are you going to be able to hold here for long? No. You're going to have to back out. You're going to go to here. But let me ask you the question. Is it still value?
Yeah, because
why?
Because I'm forcing the Ilari and the cast to just look at me. So the rest of my team is going to be a 4v3.
And it's more than that, because it's still uncomfortable for him to make the play, right? You've had to back up, but you're still contesting it. And not only that, but there's scouting value from this too. Even just pinging this person or denying them or making noise. The part of the value of this is the element of surprise, right? And you've ruined that, or you should have ruined that. You kind of see what I'm saying? That's the big thing there. Does that make sense? So find the angle or the position that gets you value selfishly, and selflessly, the value will be provided to your team. Mm-hmm. So you could also even help a teammate. Like, see, your teammate is evaluated this as a potential angle. You should be here, right? This is so much easier for you than going through the Orisa here. This is just uncomfortable. Yeah. Don't leave it up to chance. Okay. Is all this making sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
This is going to be something that's going to carry directly over to Lucio as well.
Yeah.
Like even right now. You have rally. I don't know where you're... Okay, so your Diva's... So how do we make a play here? Set up a play. What do you think?
Push... In my head, I want to go right side, just deny that door, because our Diva's already kind of towards left.
You could, but you should have already been here.
Yeah.
Right? If that was the play... Then here, you should already have been setting up and chasing this kill and maybe setting up here. Yeah. Give me another option.
With the rally, what I do is I rally and I walk left and force out the sig.
Bash out this way, walk this way, and then do this even.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And once again, the flank is what matters here.
Yeah.
Because both Cassidys won it, and your Cassidy lost. Your Cassidy should not have lost because you should have been there in the rally. And guess what? You win the 1v1, and then, oh my goodness gracious, it's Merry Christmas. It's over. It's over. It's over. Yeah. And the reason why I like this is not just because, flank equals good. It's because it's a flank that's very congested. It's exactly what you as Brig want, right? That's what we want. Because you could definitely beat on a Sigma a little bit, right? That's definitely one of the tank matchups that are not too bad, but it still felt a little awkward. Okay, let's keep going here. Any questions?
No, I'm understanding. Okay. This
tank on a flank, but not trying to mirror the enemy tank, trying to take the angle or the corner or the whatever that is congested, essentially. Nice and close range. Go ahead.
I remember exactly what happens here. We kind of just get stuffed by the Brigand to Junker Queen matchup that I am not a fan of.
Tank on a flank, where should you be?
I should be holding left on mini.
Right here or here, right?
Yeah.
Either one, your choice. Tank on a flank. You don't even need anybody with you. I know everyone's like, oh, they Inspire. Inspire is a little bit overrated. It's not necessarily about how many people you can get Inspire to. It's about who gets the Inspire. And right now, if you proc Inspire here, it's probably not going to matter all that much.
Yeah.
See, you got to be scared. You got to be careful of this. Because I appreciate you holding a close range angle, but as long as that's a tank, you need to be really cautious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
that was unlucky.
Yeah, just I wouldn't walk in there. I wouldn't walk in
Yeah.
there. Would not walk in there because you're gonna
My
get.
thought process was body block the May, but then 3-minute anti.
And it's also the queen too, right? Like
The queen's
again,
also there, yeah.
tanks are just not Briggs' specialty. Even when you're
Yeah.
dealing with like Winstons and stuff, most of it's getting them away from you essentially,
Yeah.
right? Because they will ruin your day. Okay, tank on a flank. Where do you need to be? Where do you need to be?
Left side would probably be.
Yeah, I don't think this is too bad for now, but at some point you need to kind of take an awareness check and be like, okay, can I hold space here? Do I want to hold space here? Okay, maybe this is okay for now, but maybe it's too far away. So like, where's my close angle here? There's fewer options here for sure. Yeah, bashing in is always a little scary.
Yeah. That's a habit I need to get.
Yeah.
Not as much.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's what allows you to hold more aggressive angles, is being able to save your bash. It's not always bad to bash in. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Just have to use your read the situation. Oh dear. Now, where should you be holding space here?
Should I be not? I don't want to say left side because like our diva's already there, so maybe holding like the mini.
Yeah, it could be like here. Honestly, even here, deny the short angle here. Okay, you know, you can hold the space here. You can still pack. Yep. Okay.
This is not a good place because I'm just
right.
Simulator.
That's it. You're just packing and you're not controlling space. Your on is totally fine. Now this just gets complicated if there's like a Sombra on the hunt here, but like honestly, at that point, it might still be better to just hold space here. But this is like a Zen angle, you know, or a BAP angle. This is not a Brig angle.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening? Do you see what happens? This is your responsibility.
Yeah, I should be marking this.
You need to be marking this, right? Because that's what makes supports really useful, is especially when you have like Inspire and stuff, right? You don't necessarily need to win this 1v1. You just need to make it really annoying for her, right? Because you're like, oh, I can heal myself. I can heal myself easier than you can. I'm just going to keep contesting. Because that's why you lose space on main, is look at what your diva has to do. Your diva has to do, and your Hanzo has to do your job. This is your job. Let them focus on main. You either clear her out, or now that you have rally, you could do whatever the heck you want. But yeah, your team is losing space here because of that. I like this okay. Would prefer more of a commit before you pop, though.
Yeah, I got scared by the nano. I thought, oh, they're gonna nano engage, just kill everything.
Yeah.
I should have saved it for Rampage. I was like nervous about it.
Yeah,
and then I just fed here.
So this is so okay. So to be clear, this play is a little bit silly, right?
Yeah, no, it's.
But what should you do right now?
Right now, I should be backing.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
What's this stupid white person dance? Slide to the left, right? Okay, you get what I'm saying? Like hold the angle, right? It's a close angle.
Yeah.
You can live here for a little bit, waste a lot of time, bait their attention. It's still risky, but the idea here is that like you've created distance between yourself and them now, and so it's gonna be uncomfortable to close distance. So just hold the angle, force distractions. This fight is still winnable, right? It's still winnable because you just continue to brute force, right? Just hold the angle, right? In the same way that when a tracer like goes, oh no, there's 4 people looking at me, I'm just gonna distract and not necessarily play for the one clip anymore, right? Okay, so let's take some notes here really fast before we move on to Lucio Brig. What are some details? Really just general playstyle stuff that I want you to experiment more. What do you got?
Holding angles more aggressively and more flanky instead of just sticking with the team, especially against like a more brawly comp. Like I have no reason to be trying to protect my Ana 24/7 or all that when they don't really have something to engage on the Ana with. Right. As well as just like with denying angles from opposing flankers and assisting my flankers with obtaining those.
Yes, that's it exactly. And this is what makes Brigitte so much fun for it, because this is the level of like thought and intricacy. Because when do I play angles? Oh no, when is my backline under threat, and when do I need to sit in my backline? Right. A lot of times it's when you don't have space. Like let's say that you're stuffing the Winston, the choke. You do not need. In fact, you should not sit on your Ana. But like, let's say that you're the one in the choke and there are Winstons above you. You need to sit with your Ana.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of nuance with this here, and there's a lot of like which angle's good, which angle's bad. How much aggression is bad? How much aggression is good? What about when you have rally? What about the map, the verticality? Right. This is what makes, I think, Brig one of the best characters along up there with Sigma since Overwatch 2, the whole 5v5 thing. Those characters have done really well in 5v5 because it's added a lot of nuance. So yeah, it's going to be tough, but you have the tools to start to problem solve your positioning moving forward. Yeah. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Lucio's the same thing. Now, Lucio has lost that additional core unit to speed around. But what Lucio has earned is the ability to be more creative with his positioning. Because you could do the same thing with Brig. Close range angle, right? He's not quite as effective as close range as Brigitte is. But the difference is that he can move around to different angles much faster.
Yeah.
So you could go, oh, I like here. Oh, no, I need to be here and get there, right? And you can get there. Okay. Very similar playstyle stuff. This diva is just sitting and tossing bombs over the edge.
Yeah, I was like, it should not be working, but it is working.
I mean, yeah. So let's talk about this. This is like pretty simple stuff, right? But is there an angle really for you to be holding or contesting right now?
I could go more left side through that door.
You could go a little bit, right? Just a little bit. There's not a whole lot right now, right? So it's okay, right? But if, like, let's say somebody was to go through right, whose job is that? Dumb question, right?
My job.
That's your job, right? What if somebody's to contest left? Your job. What if a flanker's trying to get up in your backline? That's your job. See, that's why it's your job to contest flankers, because it's the same thing as a Brig. When somebody gets close to you, that your job is to say no. Mm-hmm. That's your job. It's like Brig. You want people close to you, but you don't want them close to the rest of your team, right? Yeah. So that's the weird irony with Lucio. This is risky, but you know I respect it. The problem here, and you may have noticed this, is you'll go, when do I help my guy do something like this?
Yeah.
When do you think?
I should have been here already.
You could have, but why is this a flank that you can actually assist? Because sometimes going in a flank with Lucio with another DPS is just a total toss.
Yeah. Because if I go here, now he has a way out.
So you're thinking like a support. I want you to think like a DPS.
Well, if he misses the shots, then there's the chance that I hit the shots too.
Are you going to hit the shots from here as Lucio?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes. You understand? Whereas, what if my Junkrat or my had taken the angle here?
No point.
No point, right? Now now look. What if they have a dive tank that's going to dive this angle? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is the complexity of the character. But yes, you do want to start by thinking selfishly about what angle do I want to contest to help my team is dependent on what the range of that angle is. Because I want to be here not because, I can speed him out. Because you can speed anybody out. That's not applicable to this specific position. What's applicable here is that how freaking close this is. And Lucio's great up here. And by the way, if you're playing Brig, same thing, right? Same exact thing. Now, you wouldn't be able to get out as easily, but you might even be a little bit easier to finish the kill. So, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Because, in this position, I'm just doing nothing.
Right. Now, that play wasn't obvious earlier, but that's what makes main support very thinking intensive, is you have to be aware of things constantly. Now, is it wise for you to go help your Mei on this angle here? This is a tough question. I want you to think.
Potentially. Well, we're dragoning choke. Dragoning main. So, and I trust my Curie. My Curie is actually my duo, so I trust her. So, I feel like I could take this angle with our Mei and push out this Ashe.
Why would you be very good at that? Don't say speeding your Mei, because that's the obvious answer. Are you going to close the distance on this Ashe quickly and effectively?
Maybe not. We have a long time to get to them, and then even if we do, they can just coach gun out.
Sure. And then where are you at?
Behind them.
Do you like this range? I want you to think range. Okay. So
no, I don't. It's in Narnia, yeah.
I'm of the opinion that I think if you were to speed your Mei here and clear out the Ashe, maybe kill the Ashe, whatever, and then maybe do something funky with a wall here, it could work. I don't dislike this, but I want to highlight this as being one of those tricky decisions where it's like, you know, angle pill to the max here, but maybe it's just better to look for a boop or look for value on main, because main is just a lot closer right now. It's just a lot more congested. And even if you were to go for the boop, it's easier to do so with more cover from here, whereas this feels a little bit more open. Not saying that it would be bad for you to go with your main. It's just something to consider. Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like this feels, if they were still on bridge, this would feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, then I just like get a little greedy.
Well, you get greedy because you go in by yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And look in terms of your position. And the other thing, again, is the range. You see the range?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with a rally. This distance kills you. You got to be way sneakier with your approach.
Yeah.
Good movement, though. That was good.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this here. What do you think?
I mean, there's a queen that's out of position. Maybe slide down to the door to boop her out.
What's the range of this engagement?
Very, very close.
Is there an angle that you could be playing or puppy guarding otherwise than this right now?
Not really.
Not really. So that's it.
Good wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then here, you got to think, right? You got to, do I want to walk out this way? What is your other option?
Go, like, left side behind the junk.
Right there, right approach from your own angle.
Yeah.
Right? Something to consider. Yep. But yeah, I really think the proximity comes first. And then is there an angle with proximity? And then which angle do you want to go for? Oh my gosh. Oh, she didn't get it.
Oh yeah, it didn't work that time. But
Well,
like,
you killed the junk.
worked.
I think it would have killed the junk there. I think it would have killed the junk. I think this is again where you have like the Brigitte mindset. You see this here? Look at your positioning here. Where should you be?
I should be more with our May.
With your May, right? You could be up in the wall. You could be on the, on the floor, on the ceiling. Like, I don't really care, but you need to get in there and like proactively control space. Get in there. Because you need your May to preserve ice block. You need to deny the venture that angle, right? And even here, like, even if you were to play on main because your teammates aren't taking angles, then at least you would have been in a position to help your Hanzo and deny the Junker Queen here, right? He's too close, and that's his fault. But you're too far, and that's your fault, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is kind of like, if it feels like you're playing like versus Wrecking Ball Sombra with a Zenyatta 24/7.
Yeah.
And even with that, you'd still want to be pursuing on like a short leash, trying to deny their setup before it even happens, right? You never really want to be totally AFK sitting inside your backline like this. This is just not effective. It's almost like Lucio Kovacs, right? Like even here, if you were to deny and create and control space, there's two spots to control here. One's more risk, one's lower risk. Whereas the first one?
More risky is kind of more towards down main with our May in that way. Second one,
you get in here and control the angle here. Very, very good. Okay, yeah.
Second one would be left side, like in that room, not that far forward, but like still able to help our May. Or even
Exactly. You could even play up top here, right? Because it's at least closer than where you are right now. You have choices, right? Like control some space.
Instead of just man standing on point.
Right, good beat. It's funny, when things come to you, you're effective.
Yeah.
You hit your shots, you use your CDs relatively well. The beat was nice. But if things don't come to you, it doesn't work.
I just did nothing,
It doesn't work, right? And that's really important as a main support player because if you're playing, like ranked always has a poke bias, always, right?
Yeah.
People just aren't like as proactive in timing and brawl, and people will always play Sigma over Rhine if they can make a choice, right? They will always play Ashe or Cassidy over like a Reaper, right? And so it's these situations where people will be like, "Oh, main support isn't good." It's just an understanding issue. It's an execution issue. Yeah. That's why all the good main support players that are people like Frogger, Mace to the Face, that they do things exactly like I'm talking about. They're more proactive. They create more space. They play more like a DPS. Because that play style, it's not even really a play style. It's just how you play the character. There's a lot more flexibility with what you can do. So, okay, let's take some notes with Lucio. It's going to be awfully similar to our Brigitte. What do you got?
Just be more proactive.
More proactive with what? With what? Be specific.
With angles.
With angles / positions with proximity. Like Brig. You can solo and support control short angles very effectively. The challenge is where. Beyond that, I actually don't have a whole lot of feedback. I don't want to put a lot of attention into some of the details, which I know you were talking about your amps and so on, but I think they were good enough. And I want us to start with the priorities. Like those are the fundamentals. That stuff matters a lot more. Any questions?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
If you're gonna play Lucio and Escort or Hybrid, you're gonna have to know how to do this because let's be frank, like these maps are open and they're very, very, very difficult to position appropriately. So you're gonna need to figure it out. Okay, let's take a look at that BAP code then.
All right.
Let's get this here. So everything in support is about how can I maximize my pressure by playing the positions that really line up with my effective range to an extent. And BAP is obviously a little bit further. So, you could look at this to be like I could dump healing into my Rhine, I can dump healing into my BAP, which is true. You can. But you could also just be like, Baptiste 76, right? Like, where's the best position? Because if you look at the enemy composition, pretty obvious range signature, right? What do they got?
They got freaking nothing. I can kind of just stand on a high ground and just shoot at them.
Yeah.
And the only person that can pressure me is a Kiri.
Right, and not even very effectively, right? So, but at the same point in time, that means that there are going to be certain angles to you where the door is just going to be shut. You're just not going to be safe playing there at all. Reaper, Venture, Kiri, Ryan are going to run it down your throat. So, without knowing what they're on right now and typing rapidly, this is fine. But then as soon as you get information here, that shift's fine. You're going to need to get pressure out, and you're going to need to position yourself to get that value out as soon as you possibly can. See, I look at this here. Your Ryan's dead.
Yeah.
It's over. So the best thing that you could do is not be AFK at the start of the round, but then also you need to trade this right now. Like, you need to trade this. So, like, even here, and then don't shoot the Ryan either. I think Ryan's okay if there's no other target available, but, like, we need positions here.
Yeah. Instead of just standing and choking.
Right.
I should jump high ground.
Yeah. I was going to say if you'd pick it up. You got it. You probably should have, yeah. So you could even take this here. So your Ana's got here. You take this here. This is your rotation.
Yeah.
This is your kill here. And the thing is, you could still support your Rhine from here, right? But it just extends the space out. It gives you a different angle because everyone's hiding from this choke. You notice that? Everyone's pulling. Yeah. Generally, people are leaning more towards right. Like, even you see it? Like, that's just human nature. It's good cover usage for the enemy team. But you get to deny that cover by being there. The weaving is good, though, by the way. The weaving looks very good. But in here, it's going to be a little bit more appropriate for you to worry about a little bit more offensive pressure and a little bit better range. You need to respond with window here, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, don't wait. You see an opportunity to use window.
Yeah. Okay.
See an opportunity to use window. Kind of, does this fall into like the rally category of like how the frick do I use this ultimate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Just use it.
Another thing I think in my thought process here is like, I felt like it was just kind of a shit rush. So I was like, I don't think we need to do anything. I think we can just kite this. Because I don't think it was very good.
Okay, so this is where we need to, again, talk about space. Yeah. Who is the space advantage right now?
We do.
Why?
Because we have the choke. They just have to...
Why is the choke good?
Because we can play around it, and they're going to need to expend cooldowns or ultimates.
But why? Why? Why is the choke good? Why is the choke bad?
Yeah. Because you have to walk through it.
You have to walk through it, but why is but like what's the difference in y'all's positioning here? Where's your cover? Let's put it that way.
Our cover is the building, and then also kind of the archway. They only have archway, and if they push past archway, they have no cover. That's the key thing. A choke is a position where you lose cover to take space. You understand? Entirely. Yeah. And then if you guys' setup was better, it would also be a position where you have multiple different angles to attack from, right? Where they can only go through one position. Okay. So my point being is that you said that we feel like we could just kite this. Yes. But the irony here is this we lose position.
That's it, right? The irony here is this Kiriko is demonstrating how to use a proper Baptiste window, because if you've ever had your Baptiste window kited, don't always kick yourself. It's not always a mistake. Sometimes getting a Baptiste window getting kited is exactly what you want. And so the enemy's team's capability of winning this fight just tripled off of that Kitsune. Not to mention whatever Rhine shield advantage they were able to accrue as well, because now your Widow's position's worse, your Bash's position's worse, their Reaper, Venture, Kiri, Rhine, whatever position's better. And I appreciate the Bap Widow, but again, it's the proximity, it's the problem here. Yeah. If they had anything here, okay. You see how stressful this was despite being up to?
Yeah.
And all they had to use was a Reaper ult. You used 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I would pop every single thing.
Well, it could. I know why. Fear. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
They got close. You let them get close. That was your responsibility. You needed a Bap window. And you also probably need to place it a little bit closer to yourself so it wasn't... But I understand the theory behind it. It's okay.
Yeah.
So play your range. Yeah, go ahead.
It wasn't the greatest window, but like, oh well. I don't think we need to nano or shatter the dead body. But, oh well.
That's true. That's true. But you're going to this review with already like knowing that like, you know, I feel like I played relatively well. You know, and that might have been the case, right? That might have been the case.
It wasn't the best window, because if their Ryan didn't drop shield or keep backing, it would have gotten no value because it was behind them.
Well, it wasn't the best window also as well because you not using window is the reason things got so stressful afterwards.
Yeah.
Like yours was the first ultimate and the most reasonable ultimate to use there, and you didn't use it. So you guys had to give up space because, you know, some lack of feeling like you could kite it out, essentially. Yeah. But this is easy. The only thing I would adjust here is just be really disciplined with your cover. There's really no reason for you not to be here, right? It doesn't. You don't magically do more damage by being a little bit further forward here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Might need to rotate back just a little bit. Yep. Like, where's your next sideline, right? Like, where am I gonna go?
Around this corner.
Yeah, I think marking this is good. It's good because this is like Brig Lucio. What would a Brig Lucio do? Well, they deny this from happening. The good news is that you could also do that, and you at least have a little bit more space to do it, right? Because you could do it too. You just need a little bit more space, or a little bit more range, excuse me. Where should you be?
Should be more right side. Maybe even up here. Or
you could be here. Or up top. Yep. It's up to you. There's no real cover on left, but it has the range. So, you know, what's more important for you there? I don't know. Try it out. But you're not controlling. You see how you're losing space here? You see what they're doing? They're surrounding you, and you need to take a sight line with a little bit of distance and start shooting people in the face. Right? That's your responsibility.
That was also a really bad shift for me. Like, I don't know what I shifted.
You panicked.
Oh, yeah.
You panicked on the flank. You panicked on the flank. Yeah. So the lamp is fine, and I'm not saying that the shift was good, because there will be times when you're going to get panicked. That's just going to have to happen. You need to make sure that doesn't happen. However, what caused you to panic? Right? Not controlling space, not looking for sightline, not looking for range. You kind of compressed. You're allowing them to compress yourself. So you're right. It is stressful. It's the same way. You know what's funny is this shift. You know what the shift is? This is the nano and the shatter. That's what it is. It's where you lost space and you panic and you make a mistake. The difference is that your mistake wasn't an ultimate.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I actually think your mechanics are like fine. Yeah. What rank are you right now?
Diamond like 5. Your mechanics
are better than Diamond 5.
Okay. I admittedly did play really, really well this game. And like the very next, like this is like abnormally really well for me. Like the very next game I played really well.
Was this like your first or second game back?
No, this is before I left.
Oh, this one was before you left. Okay.
Yeah.
The Lucio Brig game was earlier.
The Lucio Brig one was the first or second game back. Yeah.
Problem? Where should you be?
I should be on high ground.
I hate to say it, but yeah, you should probably be at least playing the edge here. So if you need to, you drop, but you need the sightline, and you need window here.
Yeah.
You need a window here. Now you're like, oh, but they're just going to TB me and they're just going to drill dash me and amp speed on me. So better you than your Rhine, right? Better than use it now because you can live that. No problem. Like you just walk away and shift. And now they've committed all their CDs. And now what do? Right? Like the whole point is that like at least you force them to use space in the setup phase. If you let them walk onto you without using a CD, that's when you die. That's when you die. And so now your Rhine's cooked because,
the lamp is so
and there's a nano. Well, the lamp was needed, right?
Yeah.
It was needed.
It was needed. I just feel like I put it in a really bad spot.
Yeah, I understand. And see, now it's probably too late. Like
Now
I think
it's-
I think they're too close now. I think they're close. Yeah, that's
And
it.
then I just get walked on.
Yeah, because you look at that like, oh, my window is really bad. Well, again, why was your window bad? Why was your lamp bad? Why was your regenerative burst bad? Because you're always waiting until too late to decide to shoot people or control
because
space.
I'm being too not proactive enough. I'm being too reactive.
And proactive in what way? In the same way I pushed you with Lucio. Explain what you mean by proactive.
I need to take these angles and I need to take this space in order to deny.
Yes, play your range.
Yeah, I need
Play
to
your range.
deny these situations that would
Yes.
require me to use these cooldowns.
That's it exactly. That's it exactly. And you notice how we've literally flipped the script. Where like Brig Lucio, you were a little bit too. I'm not gonna say proactive or reactive. You're a little too far. Okay, right? A little bit too main. Now you're the opposite. You're I guess you're starting a little far essentially, but you're not really looking for longer silence to poke things out, and so that they're able to walk on top of you, and then stuff gets crazy.
Yeah.
Like even now, like where should you be? Yes. But why? But why? What can you see from here? Let's look.
I can
You
see opposing high ground. I can see main. I could also see back flank. Yeah.
And so the problem here is actually that you didn't get here soon enough, because what would have happened to poor Tony if you got here sooner? Right?
He would just
Good shot. So if he
up.
commits, he's half HP before he even takes the angle. So like you're like, oh, I should take high because the Reaper's there. Well, he wasn't there until you walked into him.
Yeah. And then,
Right? It happens. So you're like, oh, I should have lamped that. Yeah, but again, car to the horse, right? Which one's more important here? I do think that it's worth like kind of looking at that and being like, okay, I need to work at that a little bit, but like, it's also worth pointing out that you put yourself in a bad position.
Yeah.
Your job is to make this game as easy as you possibly can when you're under pressure. Like, you know what this is? This is easy Overwatch right here. Yeah. Why? Because of what's going on.
Like, it's just nothing. They're only looking at Ryan. I have no pressure. I can free shoot.
Yeah,
it's also just healing Ryan.
It's just weaving, man, right? It's just like chilling, damage, and healing. The only really tricky thing is like, should you be weaving on Ryan or should you be taking a shots on Venture Lucio? I think here, if you were to take top, I would probably prioritize you just 76ing, I think. Yeah. Just because of how exposed these squishies are. But like, let's say you couldn't see them, then you just weave. It'd be easy peasy, right? Where am I at here? It's fine. Again, the only thing here is just take top. Take top so that you can provide a little bit more value.
Take top so this doesn't happen.
Right, exactly. And again, it's one of those prevention things where you're like, how on earth are we losing these tank trades? I know. You guys don't need more healing. You're running BAP on it. That's plenty of healing for one Ryan. Look at your healing compared to them. The difference is that their DPS and supports are being like proactive. And what's happening, let me show you what's happening. So what's happening, let's actually look at this fight, is whose DPS have better positions to contest the Reinhardt? Theirs, right? Just by a little bit, right? Just by a little bit. And you like this there, Kitsune, but even before the Kitsune, like you feel like you should be winning this, but it's because your Bastion, your Ana, your Cassidy, you're kind of all tunneled here, and it's kind of hard to see the Rhine. You notice that?
Yeah.
He's hiding behind cart. So that's why your repositioning to high ground is so important. You see?
Yes. So I can shoot the Rhine,
right.
But I can also shoot squishies for
Right, that's it. That's it, exactly. They're using cover to deny your range. And that's also why if I was coaching your Cassidy, I'd also be like, hey, jackass, we need you here. You might need to hold your cooldowns, right? Because you will get pushed, but you need to at least try, right? You need to at least try to get this out, because otherwise these guys are just going to hide behind choke and beat the crap out of your Reinhardt. And so, yes, there's lots of mistakes from people other than you, but that's also why maybe you've had a little bit more responsibility, because you've had the easiest opportunity to reposition yourself compared to these guys.
Yeah.
Because Ana, Grandma doesn't have the hops anymore, so she can't exactly just go, oh, I'm just going to take top and snipe people out. Well, maybe not,
Yeah.
Weaving game, just weave, swing right, honestly, or statue. Sometimes it seems like you get a little bit W key pilled, sometimes.
Yeah.
Instead of just opening up it's like that's why I don't like the whole proactive word, because proactive is super ambiguous. Yeah. I don't want you to push forward. I just want you to look for a sideline.
Yeah. Be intentional about it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Again, this is just so easy, right? Like, you get so much value compared to other supports doing this. I mean, look at this, right?
I remember this exact fight because I literally, it was really funny because our Ryan was like, "Oh, let's back." I'm like, "No, push up here, push up."
Yeah.
You can walk and just walk.
Yeah, you guys had the man advantage. You had the sight line, and again, like, this is where, like, even here, right? Yeah, I mean, you're thinking about kiting back is why you drop.
Yeah.
Which is honestly not too bad, because the thing is, it's like you still have the sight line, right? Look, this is what we want. This is where Bap is better than every single other support in the game, right? Is doing this right here. Just shoot, heal, shoot, and heal, shoot, and heal, shoot, and heal. Good window. Good window. Why? Because where did you do it?
It just in main, they don't really have any way to kite it.
Even if they did, it would be expensive, right?
Yeah.
It'd be expensive, right? They're going to lose a lot of CDs, a lot of resources. So maybe you guys will be able to hold space, get card push. I don't know. Like, you're fighting 4v5 here, which is a bit of a, it's a bit of a risk. And then they do respond really nicely with a good shatter here. But even here, like, this isn't like, I don't look at this and be like, oh, you fed. This is fine.
Yeah.
There was ample opportunity for you guys to win that fight.
Yeah.
And it's just because you're spacing, right? Like, your spacing was so much better. See? Look how easy it was to deal with that. I mean, look at that, right?
Yeah.
What is he supposed to do?
What is he doing?
Okay, yeah, that is also a good question, actually. Be careful. Where should you reposition to from here?
I should be where the Reaper was.
You got it. You got it. What is he doing, indeed? Right?
Why is the Reaper up there? No clue. Why am I not up there?
Yeah, I don't know. You see, though, it's like when you get a slight advantage, I could almost hear the comms. Push, 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 push. But pushing for you is just maintain a sight line, maintain a sight line. Okay, rotate to the next sight line. You know?
Okay, yeah.
But you guys should be pushing for sure, but you're not necessarily leading the charge there. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is fine. It's just trollage. Even here, right? It's a lot of damage you put on that Reinhardt. The only reason your Venture even got him. I mean, heck, you could even consider rotating out of here if you ever want to get a little saucy with that. You don't need to now, but yeah. There are options. This is good. This is good. Just total ego. There's just like look at how relaxing this is. You're like in the theater boxes, right? It's just like whatever. Like what's the put? What do you guys gotta do? You know, like you see how easy this is? It's stressful. But look at this. You see?
Yeah.
The spacing. Legit just spacing. And this wasn't even the only position for you. You could have done it here. You could have done it here. You could have done it here. There's like so many different angles that you had. And you just took one and like absolutely like deadlifted that fight. That was beautiful. Well done.
Thank you.
I guess maybe that's the theme, you know? It's not just the off angles, but it's like playing your range. You know, like whether it's Brig, Lucio, Bap, just play your range.
Be on this high ground instead of just
You should. We need pressure now. We need pressure right now. We need to start winning this tank trade. You need to start winning the support trade. You need to force your CDs out so this Reinhardt doesn't get healing, and so on, right? Like, you need to be there now. And I think this is kind of the key thing here, too, is like when you do take a sightline, with the exception of the last fight, you're kind of focused on just the Rein shield, right? Yeah. When there are opportunities to do this, right? Like, this is going to get more effective pressure than doing this right here, right? Mm-hmm. Also leaves you a little bit less vulnerable to chatter, right? Yeah. Or Venture Old or Death Blossom or whatever else. Just gets you a little bit of spacing. Yeah, get in there. Nicely done. Nicely done. Perfect. Really, really good stuff. And again, it also helps you to use your mechanics too, because your mechanics are good. Your mechanics are not Diamond 5. I might even go as far to say they're Diamond 3.
Dang. Right.
Yeah, maybe Diamond 2 in a good way, but if I'm feeling generous, But yeah, TLDR is that like your mechanics are not a weak point here. However, what's happening right now on our screen is a bit of a weak point.
Little swan dive.
A little bit of a swan dive. I think that maybe gives you a little too much credit, because I don't think you're that graceful. And there it is, right? Like, this is... Oh, I should have lamped that. But why are you here? Like, why are you here?
There, yeah.
Why are you here, right? Like, you should be there. It's the proximity again, Yeah. And I think it's just like, as these fights devolve, you tend to get a... Like, I call it the plat magnet. Just press W. People do that. I don't know what is in our psychology to do that, but for you, maybe it's a Diamond 5 magnet, so... Where should you be? Now.
I should be more right. Like
More
with
right
our task
here.
or like on boxes.
Or here, right? Yeah. See, the other thing you'll notice about this as well is it puts you in a better position to heal your off angles like Brig Lucio, right? Because you have better vision. Like, if your cast goes this way, you might even follow him. You won't go inside necessarily because, range, right? But you might, like, you can hold the corner and support. Like, you can actually put pressure and support where it's needed and not just, I stand behind Ryan and heal Ryan. Like, there it is, right? We predicted it, right?
Yeah.
But this is so much harder, right? There's a fire strike that was definitely not aimed for you. Almost another fire strike that was definitely not aimed for you. Tick top, 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 tick top. So you could even look at this and be like, I need to worry about this angle. No, you don't. You as long as you could see, like, obviously you might lose some vision here, so be aware of that. But, like, yeah, let's go. Huh. Right. That's a spiral moment 5%. Use it. Yep. Use it. Why?
Because it forces them back, and we just get
Forces them back. You have space. There's one problem with this window, and that's the fact that there's a better angle for it. You all need to ask it because you already know where it should be, and you're about to get shattered. Here it comes. So we're gonna play in 0.25.
No, I know exactly what happens because Ryan walks on cart. Bonk.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Your fault. You shouldn't be here.
I
Shouldn't be here.
Ground.
You should be on high ground, either contesting the Reaper, killing people, peeling your team, and not getting shattered.
Yeah.
Oh my day! Wait, that was a 5K.
It was.
Oh, what a fire strike! What a legend! Oh man!
Should have done it on high ground.
This is this is the same thing. It's the proximity, right? Like, you got to be ready for this, right?
Yeah. And I remember in my head in that moment, I was like, I should have done high ground, but at the same time, I also didn't want an ego window. Because sometimes I do get nervous with that shit. I'm like, okay, ego window on high ground. What if I just don't hit the shots?
But see, that's the thing. It's not about the ego. It's about, or the CDs or the kills. It's about the pressure, right? It's about the fact that you would have been safe from the shadow. It's about the fact that you would have forced this nasty response that you could have lived, and then also have been able to win the fight in main as a result from that, right? Like, that shatter doesn't happen from top. In fact, I don't even know if he goes to the shatter at all. He probably just backs off to the corner, maybe just dies, right? In a very unceremoniously fashion. But, like, yeah. Good adjustment here. I appreciate you being, like, a lot more respectful to Reaper Venture. You're still taking the top, but doing so more respectfully. Poke him out. You see the difference here? Do you see the difference? The little bit of range there. A little bit of range makes it so much easier. You see the plat magnet again?
Yep.
It's just a small adjustment, right? It's just like here, or like here, or even okay, I wouldn't want you to be here, but at least you'd have the distance here. This fight is probably not winnable. Yeah, just based off the ults that they have. Yeah. I mean, okay, it's winnable because you guys actually, as a whole, played a little bit further, right? You played a little bit further. How does he already have Shatter? You guys are just eating fire strikes like crazy.
Yeah, no. I am a chronic fire strike eater.
It's fine, I guess. I mean, you do have the range, right? Oh my days. But again, it's like it's like one of those things where it's like fine, but it could have been here.
Yeah,
it could have been here. Right. It's like you have a little bit of distance, so you do get value out of it, and this ride is just like, is this just my day, or like, oh my gosh, like, what, another 5K? At this point, he's just like, man, I was gonna say he's feeling himself a little bit now. Now he's like, no, I gotta see this. I'm sorry, I don't care if this is your review or not. This has to be looked at.
No, I get it.
He's gonna pin you off the map. He's gonna pin somebody off the map. Surely, right? No. Oh, he's gonna pop off, I believe.
I'm pretty sure he does. Oh, huh?
We're gonna check that out in a second. Hang on. We're gonna.
Okay.
Look at this. He's so proud of himself.
How did he have another?
Just swinging, lots and lots of swinging. Okay, I gotta see what your ball did here. So gets shattered again.
Shattered.
Goes ball.
Swap ball.
My prediction is my prediction is he goes for a boop and messes
Rolls
it
through
up.
the BAP.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that happens. Okay.
That happens.
All right, Skippy. Let's see the mechanics here. All right, I want to be impressed. I want to be impressed. Cheeky of that Reaper there. It was actually a good play if he'd been more patient. Again, mechanics are good. Get in there. Get in there. Yeah. Nice and close. Man, you guys could have won this fight if your ball hadn't rolled off the map. No joke.
We definitely could have.
Yeah. Obviously awkward here because you don't want to be on cart, but somebody has to be.
Yeah.
Like, these mechanics are good. Wow. Die for touch. Yeah, your mechanics are good. Mechanics are good. At least in this game, they looked good. So, okay, let's take some notes. Let's take some notes. Bap, what do you got?
BAP. In the inverse of Lucio, well, not in the inverse, but just like
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
alongside Brig and Lucio, hold those angles, deny them from pushing them, but play your range. Don't get too close for comfort. Play
Range.
a comfortable range.
Cality for easier pressure CD trades.
Yeah. Play high ground more. You're able to get up there. You have jump boots.
Right.
You can be on high ground.
It's just because you create. It's Pythagorean theorem, right? It's just a little bit further. It's a little bit. It's also better vision as well. You could see different targets other than Ryan. Keep an eye on lazily smashing Rhine trade with other positions available, and pressing W during advantages. That's the key thing. You know, you are really good in tank trades when there are no positional options available, but you're not super good as the fights start to evolve, which is why they gave BAP exo boots, because actually, no, you're actually just fine. But it is reliant off of you taking those positions. What's better than more open space, like a more open sightline? An Ana or BAP, it's often an Ana until you factor in the fact that the BAP can reposition himself, right? So that's the key thing. Okay, any questions?
No, that was very informative. Thank you.
Good.